When Nissan unveiled its second-generation 2018 LEAF electric car back in September last year, many were disappointed to learn that it would ship with a 40 kilowatt-hour battery pack, offering a range of about 150 miles, that's 240 kilometers per charge. Many, including myself, were also a little frustrated to learn that the 40 kilowatt-hour battery pack would not be actively cooled, with Nissan instead deciding to stick with the same passive cooling system used for the battery pack found in the first-generation Nissan LEAF. At the time, Nissan said the more energy-dense 40 kilowatt-hour battery pack was far more robust than its predecessors and thus didn't need active cooling. Fast forward just a few months from that point, and the whole RapidGate debacle, I'll leave a link in the description, proves that perhaps it did. The whole debacle and a few other bad choices on Nissan's behalf haven't done a lot to help LEAF sales of late. But Nissan has a trick up its sleeve in the form of a longer-range LEAF variant called the Nissan LEAF E+. It's been promised to us for nearly a year now and should be hitting the market in the not-too-distant future. And by that, I mean early next year. It's no surprise then that discussion is turning to price, and this week we got the first hint of what it might be priced at least in the US, courtesy of preliminary dealership pricing sheets. According to carsdirect.com, which has seen the aforementioned documents, Nissan seems to be adding a $5,500 premium to the price of every current Nissan LEAF model for the longer range E+ variant. That means the 2019 Nissan LEAF SE Plus would start at around $36,000 before incentives, and the range-topping Nissan LEAF SLE Plus would be somewhere around $42,500 before incentives. That puts the entry-level Nissan LEAF SE Plus just below the entry-level Chevrolet Bolt EV LT in terms of sticker price. But of course, a competitive price doesn't mean anything if the car offering it can't match the car it's supposedly undercutting in terms of performance or specification. Will it? It's looking possible, at least. Offering a 60 kilowatt-hour battery pack instead of the 40 kilowatt-hour battery pack found in the regular LEAF, the LEAF E Plus should have a range in excess of 225 miles. That's 362 kilometers. That's slightly less than the range of the Chevrolet Bolt EV, which in turn is slightly less than the range of the Hyundai Kona EV. But it's still close enough to perhaps be considered by buyers, provided this new 60 kilowatt-hour battery pack can avoid all of the issues suffered by the 40 kilowatt-hour battery pack used in the current standard LEAF. This larger capacity battery pack, unlike previous packs in other LEAFs, will not be made by Nissan's former battery subsidiary AESC. Instead, it's rumoured to be made with LG Chem battery cells, complete with active liquid cooling in the pack to ensure it remains at peak operating temperature at all times. Sound familiar? Well, it should do, because LG Chem supplies electric car battery cells to many different automakers, including General Motors and Hyundai. The Chevrolet Bolt EV uses a 60 kilowatt-hour actively cooled LG Chem battery pack, and the Kona Electric uses a 64 kilowatt-hour actively cooled LG Chem battery pack. In other words, Nissan's LEAF E Plus will not only be the first LEAF to have an actively cooled battery pack, meaning it shouldn't suffer heat-related premature battery aging as its predecessors did, but it also seems to be appropriately priced for the range it's promising. Nissan has also said the LEAF E Plus will be more powerful than its 40 kilowatt-hour sibling, suggesting that Nissan is also looking to match the Bolt EV and Kona Electric in terms of acceleration and total power output. But while Nissan has lost many loyal customers of late thanks to the RapidGate debacle and quietly increasing the price of its replacement first-generation Nissan LEAF battery packs from $5,500 or equivalent to $8,500 or equivalent, there may be some benefits to owning the Nissan LEAF E+, at least assuming that battery pack really is better engineered than its predecessors. What are they? Well, first and most importantly, there's rapid charging. Nissan's LEAF E Plus is expected to launch with 100 kilowatt CHAdeMO DC quick charging as standard, something which, at a compatible DC quick charge station at least, will dramatically reduce charging times. That's quite a contrast to the 20 kilowatts or less of a throttled, overheated 40 kilowatt-hour LEAF battery pack, but I digress. So let's look at that second most important factor, incentives. Unlike General Motors, which is likely to hit its 200,000th plug-in car sold in the US in the final quarter of this year, thus triggering the make-specific ramp-down of federal tax credits for EV purchasers, Nissan hasn't yet quite got to that point. And that means that while the Chevrolet Bolt EV will likely not attract a $7,500 federal tax credit from next January, unless the government extends it, the Nissan LEAF E Plus most certainly will still be eligible. Of course, in this video, I have focused on US pricing, because that's the pricing that we've had access to. But expect similar pricing in your local currency, which has got me thinking. Are you tempted to wait for a 2019 Nissan LEAF E Plus, or are you still feeling sore over the rapid gate and battery replacement cost problems? And will this car help Nissan earn back some of the faith that plug-in car fans have lost for it lately? Let me know in the comments below. That's it. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time.